Historically, these subcontractors and general contractors have had little regulatory accountability in our city. Even when buildings department inspectors cite them for safety violations, too many of them simply treat the resulting penalties as a cost of doing business rather than as a reason to alter safety practices. Now here's how we intend to change such sometimes tragically reckless behavior. First, we propose to make general contractors and demolition and concrete contractors accountable for the safety of their operations at job sites. Before any of these contractors working in our city can obtain a building permit, they would first need to get a safety control number from the buildings department. This number will enable the department to track the performance record of these contractors, not just on a specific job, but across all construction sites, and identify patterns of non-compliance and poor safety records. Contractors with unacceptable records will have their safety control numbers suspended or revoked, effectively halting their ability to do business in New York City. These decisions will be made judiciously based on a careful assessment of the nature and volume of the work that contractors do. Second, we would require contractors to report that they are in compliance with the law within 24 hours of receiving hazardous site violations from the buildings department. Contractors who fail to comply would be fined up to $5,000 and their work sites would be re-inspected immediately. Construction sites that continually receive violations could be assigned a project safety monitor to ensure compliance. A project safety monitor would be stationed at the site until the buildings department is completely satisfied that the site is safe. And third, both concrete and demolition subcontractors would also have to designate site safety managers responsible for each site at which they are working. We're also developing 3 proposals to improve crane safety, which we're also including in today's legislative package. The first proposal would require the general contractor to hold a safety coordination meeting with responsible parties on the job site before erecting a crane, before dismantling a crane, and before every jump. This, we think, would reduce the chances of accidents, which often occur when there is a breakdown in communications on the site. Second, there currently are no specified training requirements for obtaining a license for crane rigging, although you do have to pass an exam and have some practical experience. So we propose requiring a minimum of 30 hours of approved training for any worker participating in rigging operations, including the installation, dismantling, and jumping of a crane, as well as an 8-hour recertification course every 3 years. And third, we would prohibit the use of nylon slings except where a manufacturer's manual specifically states or recommends that nylon slings be used. And nylon slings would never be used unless the material being lifted have the appropriate padding applied to all sharp edges. I want to emphasize that these 3 proposals, which follow a regulatory notice that went out to the industry in May, are just the first step. There will be more developments on crane safety in the days and weeks ahead. The legislative package that we are presenting today also includes an important proposal to require that either the buildings commissioner or the first deputy commissioner be a licensed architect or a professional engineer. This change in qualifications will give us the flexibility to recruit candidates who have the necessary technical and management skills to lead the department. As to our other reforms, we are proposing to reclassify some housekeeping violations, such as loose material and inadequate safety netting, as immediately hazardous, with penalties as high as $25,000. We think that would encourage contractors to address the site conditions that can lead to debris falling on the street and obstructions in and around the site which could trip up workers or any first responders. We would also upgrade the safety of vacant or structurally compromised buildings by requiring owners to regularly file engineering reports. And those who don't would be subject to a fine of up to $5,000. In addition, we are proposing putting new teeth into requirements that property owners maintain retaining walls like the one on the Henry Hudson Parkway that collapsed in the year 2005. Those property owners who don't will face penalties of up to $10,000, and for those building owners who continuously neglect maintenance inspections, the city would conduct the inspections along with any emergency work at the owner's expense. The Department of Buildings will also begin to formally notify the State Department of Education of any disciplinary action it takes against licensed architects or engineers. And finally, to improve transparency and accountability even further, the Buildings Department will publish on its website an annual report on all construction-related injuries and fatalities. I do want to thank the construction industry, the City Council, and the Association for a Better New York for working with us to craft these proposals. Each of these proposals is at various stages of development, so there's a lot of work to be done before the legislative package can be signed into law. But taken together, they will materially strengthen our efforts to protect the lives of our city's 125,000 construction workers and the lives of everyone who lives and works in or near, or who passes by any building or construction site anywhere in the city. Because make no mistake about it, safety is the Buildings Department's first job. These new laws will give them valuable tools to help keep New Yorkers safe, and they reinforce our administration's commitment to making the Buildings Department a tough enforcement agency. And we're very pleased to have Council Speaker Quinn's support for this legislative package, and I would now like to invite her to say a few words.